Yeah, hello. Now, here we discuss about closing the project or phase, which is the last in the five process groups. When we started by, it was the five process groups are initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling and closing. And so far we have completed the initiation, we completed. Then we went into planning, we completed planning. Then we went to execution, done, monitoring and controlling done. And now the last process group is the closing the project or phase. Around 9% of the questions will come from this. This process group has only just two processes. One is close project or phase. That means at the end of every phase, which includes the last phase of the project as well, there should be a formal closure and a handover to the next stakeholder, a formal handover and a formal takeover. Then we need to perform this contract closure also. That means we have to close all the contracts with our customers formally, and then we have to close all the contracts with our suppliers or subcontractors. So these are the two processes that comes under closing. The first process close project or phase. So here the input side we have the project management plan, which was the output of the planning process group, and then the accepted deliverable. That means at the end of execution we will have a set of accepted deliverables, tested, verified, accepted. Then organizational process assets, it could be anything we discussed earlier. Then tools and techniques, expert judgment, that is the expertise of the person, and analytical techniques, which we will discuss, and meetings. The analytical techniques includes the test results and weighted averages, those kind of thing. Now, while closing the project, we may have to give a rating to the vendor. So during the project period, if he has given multiple deliveries to the team, if it's a raw material supplier, if he has given several deliveries across a period of time, maybe at the end of the phase or at the end of the project, as per my organizational norms, I may have to do a performance analysis of the material, of the supplier, and the weightages can be based on his timelines. Price is always determined at the time of signing the contract with him. Then it could be the rejection rates of the material is supplied. So here we use statistical sampling and weighted averages, scatter graphs, and it could be anything. So all these things are examples for analytical techniques. Then output is the final accepted product or service, and the result transition. It can be a product, service, or result transition to the next stakeholder. If it is an IT project which follows a kind of waterfall, once the requirements is done, there will be a formal closure of the requirements phase, and the approved requirements will get transferred to the design team. Okay, so it goes like that. But if it is the final phase of the project, the acceptance testing is done, then once you get the acceptance test, the final product or service gets transferred to the end customer. Then organizational process assets updates. Sorry. So as soon as the phase or the project is formally closed, we go back and update the organizational process assets. One example is the rejection rate of the material, vendor rating, performance rating of the team, updation of the upper control limit, organizational capability baselines. So all these things can be considered as examples for organizational process assets updates. Then the second process under closing is close procurements. Input side, we have the project management plan, procurements documents, procurement audits to see whether how much is delivered, how much is rejected, and penalty clauses, all those things happens. Procurement negotiations, litigations, if there are some issues, we have to resolve it. Then the records management system, updating all these records into the archives. Output is the close procurements and organization process its updates. So very often in projects, even when after the project gets over, the engineering team may be dismantled, but still the procurement team may continue because it will take more time to close the procurements. Primarily because of this procurement negotiations and litigations. Sorry, I'm not well, so I have a cough. Now that's it. So with this, we have completed closing as well. Now we have covered all the 47 processes, and we are equipped with a lot of things like so now whenever a project situation arises, first thing you have to look at the earned value management. What is the CPI? What is the SPI? Then identify the risk. Look at the flexibility metrics, like what is flexible, what is not flexible. Then look at the budgets, business justification. Then we have a lot of tools and techniques like crashing, fast tracking, and a lot of stuff. And leverage the expertise and play within the professional ethics. Most probably our decisions will be much professional and better and risk-free than without these things. So that is for the practitioner. Thank you very much.